Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Well, many of us saw our first flakes of the season overnight and woke up to some snow on the ground this morning. And tonight, we're tracking wind. Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Bjorla. We're glad you're with us tonight. The wind is the story, so let's send it straight over to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank with a look at what we can expect tonight. Hey, Rach.
Hi. Even more than the wind, it's the combination of the breeze and the cold that will send wind chills down into the single digits and teens as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. Taking a look at current gusts, we're not seeing anything too feisty at the moment. In fact, in the valley locations, we're not even seeing any current gusts, but we've got gusts up to close to 30 miles an hour in Bridgeport. And we do have a wind advisory that's in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. The wind may come up a little bit as we head through the next hour or two. The National Weather Service saying gusts could reach up to or in excess of 40 miles an hour. I'm feeling cautiously optimistic that the winds aren't that bad. However, we prepare for the worst and hope for the best, make sure everything's secured in case those winds do pick up tonight. The radar showing the snow has departed, and while I don't think that icy conditions are going to be a major issue tonight, especially in areas that did see a lot of snow today in the northwest and the northeast hills, there could still be some leftover slippery spots. So just be careful, especially in areas that saw some melting and then maybe a little bit of a refreeze on untreated surfaces like back decks, patios, front steps. Temperatures right now are generally near or above freezing, but that won't be the case as we head through the overnight hours. Wind chill will be dropping back into the teens and single digits as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. Tomorrow it's sunny and brisk with highs near 30 and again feeling a whole lot like winter. We'll talk about some changes to the weekend forecast coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. New developments in a story you first saw here on Fox 61. Anthem Insurance reverses course on a proposal that would have put a time limit on coverage of anesthesia treatments during surgery. Some state leaders and healthcare industry experts say Fox 61's coverage of the issue was a key reason for the change. Fox 61's Matt Karen joins us from Anthem's headquarters in Wallingford with what it means for patients.
A victory for patients and providers. Doctors and state leaders are saying our initial coverage on November 21st put the multi-billion-dollar insurance company under an uncomfortable microscope. And just hours ago, Anthem backed down.
This is cruel. This is profit-driven. This is greed-based.
Few people know how money and medicine mix better than State Senator Saud Anwar, a lawmaker who's also a doctor.
The fact that they are coming up with such a policy on their end tells us what kind of company they are.
Fox 61's initial story put the spotlight on Anthem for a controversial policy change that would have cut off anesthesia coverage at an arbitrary time limit during surgery. The company responded with an initial statement gaslighting doctors, blaming them for inaccurate billing, saying the policy, quote, identified additional ways to safeguard against potential anesthesia provider overbilling.
So for them to say that people are taking longer time for the surgeries is far from the reality.
The policy changes sparked fear that surgeries would be rushed. Providers would be incentivized to choose patients with a lower chance of surgical complications.
This might even constitute an unfair insurance practices claim. So we're going to be looking into it. I'm reaching out to Anthem today, and we're going to get to the bottom of it.
The issue caught the attention of state leaders like Comptroller Sean Scanlon.
My office was hearing from constituents all across Connecticut who were scared, concerned, outraged.
And Attorney General William Tong. They fought back.
So what does that mean? Are doctors going to be waking patients up in the middle of surgery, or are they going to be rushing through surgery because they won't get paid? And then on top of that, there'll be a surprise medical bill for patients after their surgery if the anesthesia goes on too long. Come on, Anthem, you could do better than this.
A sentiment shared by many across the state who have not only criticized Anthem for their policy on anesthesia, but for slashing reimbursement rates for special needs therapy providers like speech pathologists and occupational therapists. That has resulted in higher copays and reduced appointment time. In the end, Anthem reversed course.
It applies to every single person in Connecticut, whether they're on the state employee plan or whether they have a commercial plan through Anthem. At the end of the day, they're not going to carry forward this policy, and that's a win for the state of Connecticut.
And Anthem just got back to us with a statement saying that they decided to roll back this policy due to, quote, significant widespread misinformation. It's worth noting that although enough public pressure was generated on Anthem to kick this policy out of Connecticut, the company still plans to move forward with limiting anesthesia coverage in New York and Missouri. The new policy goes into effect there in February. Reporting in Wallingford, outside the Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield headquarters, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Matt, thank you. A suspicious death in New Haven is now being investigated as a homicide. Police say 57-year-old Russell McKenzie was found dead from a gunshot wound inside a Walnut Street apartment yesterday. A woman who made the 911 call was found on scene, distraught and having difficulty breathing. She was taken to a hospital as a precaution. Police have not said anything about any arrests in this case yet.
A $5,000 reward is being offered for information about an abandoned dog in New Haven. Now, a small white dog was found next to a dumpster on Monterey Place on Wednesday. The dog was found in a crate with what appeared to be its belongings. Anyone with any information on this dog should call the New Haven Animal Shelter.
And developing news tonight, police have the man in custody who allegedly stole a car with a child in the backseat in Willimantic. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane is in Willimantic with those details.
Luckily, that 3-year-old child is safe today after a very scary situation. Now, the family that owns this Valero gas station on Main Street say the incident just happened so quick, but they immediately sprang into action. It's every parent's worst nightmare. You turn your back and your child is gone. That's what police say happened at the Valero gas station on Main Street in Willimantic Wednesday afternoon. A car was stolen with a 3-year-old in the back seat. Witnesses say the mother parked at the gas pumps with her Volkswagen still running. She went inside, came out, and both her car and child were gone. Luckily, the child was dropped off at the Meadow Hill Vet Shop in Lebanon shortly after. The toddler is okay and was taken to the hospital for evaluation. Police have identified the suspect as 28-year-old Hanif Baker. He was eventually caught and arrested by Preston police and is facing several charges. Back at Valero, Ibrahim and Arams both work inside the convenience store. They say it's an important lesson for drivers to always lock your doors and stay vigilant at the pumps.
I think we need to, as a community, be more aware and just, be careful going out with your kids and, especially in gas stations. A lot of people, I see it all the time. People leave their cars running with the kids in them and, prime example, it could happen to anyone at any second. They should just stay alert because you never know, anything could happen no matter what you're doing. You just never know.
Police say this incident will remain under investigation. You can stick with us on air, online, and on Fox 61 Plus as we continue to learn more. In Willimantic, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. Faculty members at Connecticut State Colleges walked out this morning during a meeting about potential staff cuts. That's the recommendation from a new independent report paid for by the governor's Budget and Policy Office following years of low enrollment and mounting debt. But instructors facing potential layoffs say this will only hurt students and the state economy. Faculty members at Connecticut State Colleges are speaking with their feet.
Listen to the faculty, not the consultant.
Walking out of a Thursday meeting where leaders announced potential staff reductions.
We object to the NCHEM's report that is being presented.
Louise Williams is the president of the union representing 3,000 faculty across 4 Connecticut state universities. She says teachers are restless about their future.
They believe that because of enrollment declines, we are too big and that we have too many faculty and staff and that we must be cut. And for us, that means a shrinking of opportunities for higher education for the people of the state of Connecticut.
The state-funded independent assessment comes as the university system faces a major financial deficit. At the start of the year, CSEU announced it was $140 million in the red and planned to raise tuition and offer buyouts to hundreds of faculty to balance the budget.
We are already overworked and stressed out.
But even those changes were not enough to make up the debt
and declining enrollment. And now an outside panel is recommending more drastic cuts.
There's absolutely no discussion in this report about what takes place in a classroom. And I think it is absolutely horrible what this means and what this says about, the students that come to institutions like this. I think it's actually sort of saying to us all that their educations really don't matter, right? Their experiences do not matter. They're not important, right? What matters is the politics of the budget.
The report also forecasts a pessimistic outlook for future enrollment as more students across the country question the value of an expensive college education. But these teachers argue the response should be more affordable tuition and more resources, not less.
We think that the people of Connecticut deserve to have good higher education and the advantages that it brings.
Keep in mind, these are just recommendations for now, and the university board does not have to follow them. But faculty members are preparing themselves for potential job losses in the months ahead because the governor has already indicated that he does not plan to increase funding for the university system.
Developing news tonight from New York City. Newly released images showing the face of the person who shot and killed the CEO of United Healthcare. Brian Thompson was going to a Hilton hotel in downtown Manhattan Wednesday morning to participate in an investors conference when he was shot in the back on the leg. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. According to police, the shooter rode a bike from the scene and disappeared into Central Park, 5 blocks north of where the shooting happened. Police say they believe the shooting was targeted.